All right. Well, hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. The final reader of the evening is Eugene Ostachevsky. Right, Aurora? What? There's no Aurora up here. Don't be silly. Eugene Ostachevsky is a Russian-American poet and pundit. I'm just reading what he sent me. His books of poetry include Iterature and the Life and Opinions of D.J. Spinoza, both published by Ugly Duckling Press. So, Aurora and I have written together a brief acrostic based on the letters that in Eugene Ostachevsky's name and some of his recent work. It's called Pursued by Impostachevsky. Enter, unfinished God. Does knowing enlighten the no-souled encounter? Okay, poem, state the concept among the dark roots. Say, I don't know, he had 700 eyes and voices. A swan fought against knowing how to love your arms. Please welcome Eugene Ostachevsky.
Thanks. I'm going to start with reading a few things that I haven't read before. They are translations, if I can actually see them. They're translations of Russian children's poems from the 1920s that I had been commissioned to do, and then I did some, and then the commission fell apart, as it often happens. And here is a piece, and I mean, because they're children's poems, I tried very hard to replicate the rhyme and the rhythm of the pieces. And here's one by Daniel Harms called Play. Igra. Peter ran down the road, along the pavement. Peter ran along the pavement, and he hollered, "Roo, roo, roo! I'm not Peter any longer. Everybody, move aside. I'm not Peter any longer. I'm a car. I'm a car." Vasco ran behind Peter, down the road along the pavement. Vasco ran along the pavement, and he hollered, "Do, do, do! I'm not Vasco any longer. Out of the way, steer clear. I'm not Vasco any longer. I'm a steamboat from now on." Mikey ran behind Vasco, down the road along the pavement. Mikey ran along the pavement, and he hollered, "Zoo, zoo, zoo! I'm not Mikey any longer. Pay attention, practice safety. I'm not Mikey any longer, I'm a Soviet airplane." A cow was walking down the road along the pavement. A cow was walking along the pavement. It was mooing, moo, moo, moo. Just a real, genuine cow with some real, genuine horns walked towards them on the road, taking up the whole wide way. "Hey, you cow, you Milky Mookie. Don't walk here, Milky Mookie. Don't walk here on the road. Don't walk here along the way. Move aside," shouted Peter. "Steer clear," shouted Vasco. "Pay attention," shouted Mikey, and the cow did move aside. They stopped running at the finish by the bench beside the gate. Steamboat, car, and Soviet airplane, airplane, car, and Soviet steamboat. Peter jumped up on the bench. Vasco jumped up on the bench. Mikey jumped up on the bench beside the gate. "I'm parked," shouted Peter. "I guessed anchor," shouted Vasco. "And I landed," shouted Mikey. Then they sat down to rest. They were resting on the bench beside the gate. Airplane, car, and Soviet steamboat, steamboat, car, and Soviet plane. "Hit the gas," shouted Peter. "Sail onwards," answered Vasco. "Let's keep flying," hollered Mikey. And they took off once again. And they took off and they sped off down the road along the pavement. They were jumping, they were skipping, loudly shouting, "Zoo, zoo, zoo! They were jumping, they were skipping down the road along the pavement, ran so hard their heels were flashing as they shouted, "Do-do-do," ran so hard their heels were flashing down the road along the pavement, throwing hats up in the air, loudly shouting, "Roo-roo-roo." It's a made-up word. Samuel Marshak, The Luggage. So the commission was British, and I had baggage everywhere, and they made me change it to luggage, which doesn't rhyme so well, so I'm changing it back to baggage. Since they didn't pay me. A lady was checking her baggage. One couch, one suitcase, one package, one picture, one basket, a pan for pierogi, and a teeny-weeny doggy. The lady received at her station all the relevant documentation, 4 green tags in exchange for her baggage. Her couch, her suitcase, her package, her picture, her pan for pierogi, and her teeny-weeny doggy. Porters to the rail car go, loading up the rail cargo. There, it's packed, that baggage, the couch, the suitcase, the package, the picture, the pan for pierogi, and the teeny-weeny doggy. But as the train was about to depart, the puppy jumped out of the car. After several steps, a big scare. One of the items is not there. They nervously count the baggage. 1 couch, 1 suitcase, 1 package, 1 picture, 1 pan for pierogi. Comrades, where's the doggy? By the door, there chanced to occur a huge cur with bristling fur. Catch it, into the luggage hold with it. Next to the package, the picture, the pan for pierogi, right where they once had the doggy. When it came time to get off, at a difficult to pronounce stop, they carried towards her carriage every piece of the lady's baggage, the couch, the suitcase, the package, the picture, the pan for pierogi. In the back, on a leash, came the doggy. The doggy growls. The lady howls. "Criminals! Thieves! Scoundrels! Why did you bring me that mongrel?" She hurled aside her package. She kicked aside her baggage, her picture, her pan for pierogi. "Just give me back my doggy!" "Madam, calm down. At your station of origin," says the documentation, "you checked in the following baggage. 1 couch, 1 suitcase, 1 package, 1 picture, 1 pan for pierogi, and 1 teeny-weeny doggy. It appears that, left on its own, your doggy might have suddenly grown." And this one is Mayakovsky. It's called The Fire Horse. And it's basically about the dignity of labor. And so they're all picture books, right? And on every page, the father asks the boy to buy him a horse, and they go to a different kind of worker that they need to make a horse. But it's a little awkward. And this is not a cop-out. Mayakovsky was really awkward. I tried to kind of be awkward in the same way. Because I think he was embarrassed about writing for children. The Fire Horse. He repeated about 300 times, chasing his father to the stores. "I'm growing up a cavalryman. Father, get me a horse." Where's the problem? So many toys a toy shop has start whooping. Father and son go to the shop to purchase a quadruped. The shop clerk says to them, "No way, we're all out of horses today." Still, a horse of any color can't be made by a master artisan. Here's the master. They're told, "We must certainly get cardboard. For the body of such horse, cardboard is the right resource. They take a walk with dignity to the paper factory. There the worker poses questions. Is it thick or thin you want? He asks, then carries in 3 sheets of the highest quality cardboard. Also, here's some glue for you. To glue it truly, pour on the glue. Writing experts have revealed there's no writing without the wheel. They go to see the carpenter. Of course he's glad to encounter them. He cuts a set of little wheels, quickly, smoothly, true to scale. They now have wheels but no mane, no fibers for the tail. A horsetail, where would we get it? Same place as brush and bristle. The bristleman does not object to make the horsey frizzle. He gives horsehair for the horse's head and some for the horse's other end. We forgot nails. What a bother. Nails are a necessity. They take the father farther to the blacksmith's smithy. The smith rejoices. I mean, in the Soviet Union. The smith rejoices. Welcome, friends. Here's the best nail for your needs. Before they get down to work, they check if everything is there, then declare with one voice, having just cardboard and horsehair, the horse will come out pale, boring, and stale. We need a painter with his brushes to color the coat and trace the eyelashes. To the painters has run our brave cavalryman. Comrade, can you paint my horse? Says the painter. Of course. And grabs his paints on the go, leaving his personal studio. That company does not waste time. They spend the rest of the day with first-class materials, hammering away. As a community, they get busy. First, they make the horse's body. Then the work continues forward. They cut up a sheet of cardboard. The bristleman inserts the tail. The blacksmith nails in the nail. The carpenter's hand exhibits speed, fashioning wheels out of wood. The painter's brush everywhere flies, coloring the horsey eyes. What a charger! What a horse! Like a fire is it hot. You can go forward, you can go backward. You can gallop or you can trot. Its eyes are blue. Its sides are dappled. It is bridled. It is saddled, bound around with a harness. Jump up on a bound back. Help out, Bugione. Attack! Okay. And now a different translation from a poem by Arkady Dragomoshenko called An Evening, Вечер. The dead show up and they say, you're living. Yes, really, you're onto something. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. So, you sit down across from us, say the dead. The dead have a lot of everything, even dead beer. The dead have a lot of wisdom. I know this also. They decline the names of those who turn on the light, and in many ways the sense also. What's going on with me? Nothing. I'm reading a book. What about? What are you reading a book for? Why are you drinking wine and not thinking about how we, the dead, are supposed to live? Why do you mow down grain and devour bread while we eat only poppy? Because I'm reading a book. When in the book there's twilight, and night becomes the only illumination, where memory rushes down like rafters you held up a candle to for a long while, because the adversative conjunction still holds, but mint sweats in the morning, and ice melts in the hand. Also, friend, you know how difficult. Not to say, but to say, not to yourself, but farther. Here, the dead are out of their depth. I'm going to read a few poems from the manuscript I'm working on now, called The Pirate Who Does Not Know the Value of Pi, about the relationship between a pirate and his parrot. And the first piece I'm going to read, Uljana was kind enough to translate into German, and it's coming out soon, in a few weeks. And we just did the proofs, so I'm going to ask her to come up after I read it and read the German, just so that you know what it sounds like. This is the story of the pirate and his parrot, not unlike the ballad of Bonnie and Clyde, who, however, were a little more desperate and disparate. On the day of their meeting, the pirate was not yet a pirate, although always aspiring to become one. When an adult, he had amassed a vast private collection of pirate arms: yatagans, grappling hooks, blunderbusses, Malaysian krisses, 358 total. The parrot was already a parrot. How they met, closed-circuit cameras agree. In a dark pet store on a dank day, both nose and beak were full of mucus. Not a little nervously, the two confided in each other how much they loved to play with boorishly booming bazookas. They assaulted tourists from Bali all the way to the Venice Biennale, then took a trip down to California, where they worked as instructors of calisthenics, calibration, and calligraphy, cooked cauliflowers, then reallocated themselves to crime, and finally, with the proceeds, bought themselves a galleon in case they should come across a large store of gold bullion. It was then they took to the sea and took up piracy. They raided packet boats, pedal boats, and boats at once packet and pedal, palanders, pirogues, pontoons, and gondolas made of metal, dhows, dinghies, bidarkas, catamarans, and clippers, felucas, garukas, tankers, bathtubs, and bathroom slippers. But whether on a wavy wave or on a coconut-strewn shore, they never did forget that old dark and dank pet store, not even when filling their coffers or beheading recently made coffers. They worked hard, became successful and wealthy. They bought art and a split-level house in New Jersey, although they were never in it for the cash, but because the criminal form of life is such a blast. Sure.
It's not going to be quite as dramatic, but so I'm only the parrot. Dies ist die Sage vom Piraten und seinem Papagei, ein Stück weit wie die Ballade von Bonnie und Clyde. Die waren allerdings ein Entchen, delinquenter und divergenter. Am Tag, als sie sich trafen, war der Pirat noch ein Pirat, war der Pirat noch kein Pirat. Aber er hatte mit dem Plan, wenn er groß sei, einer zu werden, eine gewaltige Masse privater Piratenwaffen zusammengerafft. Yatagans und Enterhaken, Blunderbusse, Krisse aus Malaysia, 358 insgesamt. Der Papagei war schon Papagei. Ihr Treffen ging, die Aufnahmen beweisen so. An einem kühlen Tag im düsteren Zoogeschäft, Nase und Schnabel beide voller Schnief, gestanden sie einander ohne Scheu, wie ihr Lieblingsspielzeug hieß.
Boagala, Bumsender, Bazookas!
Sie terrorisierten Touristen von Bali bis Venedig auf der Biennale, dann trampten sie runter nach Kalifornien, wo sie als Kursleiterjob den Kalistätik, Kalibrierung, Kalligraphie, Rucola konsumierten, sich lokalisierten als Kriminelle und schließlich von der Kohle eine Galeone kauften, die sie als zukünftiges Goldbahnlager tauften. Hierin begann ihre Reise auf See, bekannten sich beide zur Piraterie. Sie überfielen Paketboote, Tretboote, auch Boote mit Paketen zum Treten, Pontons, Pirogen und Pinassen, Gondeln mit Metalleinlassung, Dinghies, Daus, Baidarkas, Clipper und Katamaranen, Felucken, Schaluppen, Tanker, auch Galoschen und Badewannen. Doch weder auf der welligsten Welle noch auf dem kokosnussverzierten Strand vergaßen sie die düstere Stelle jedes kühle Zoogeschäft, nicht mal, als sie ihre Truhen vollpackten oder kürzlich getroffenen Kaffeeren den Kopf abhackten. Sie schufteten hart, hatten Erfolg, scheffelten Geld, sie kauften Kunst und ein Terrassenhaus in New Jersey. Und dabei ging es ihnen niemals um den Zaster, nur um das kriminelle Leben, das so krass war.
So I'm just going to do two more pieces from that series, and one of them references the Russian speakers here maybe know the Russian pirate song, "Kiptanskom Partu," which is written. The melody is by Mir Bistushain. And this is what's referenced here. I mean, apart from any number of Scottish and English ballads. The pirate sails the squeamish main with a glass of Chardonnay. Oh, where can I get a good parrot to sing me yesterday? In came the pirate's parrot. A very learned parrot was he. I can sing you by Mir Bistushain, but not yesterday, perdie. In came the pirate's parrot, widely read in philosophy. A song I can sing you many a one, but I will not sing yesterday. The pirate dove into the water and paddled with both his arms until the waves that hit his face grew large and scary as barns. A teardrop fell from each his eye. He would not shed a third. You should have been a raven, you palace bespattering bird. The pirate smoked a cigarette, got cancer and suddenly died. They smashed his chest open with axes and found a heart inside. The heart was the cause of death. In its capacity as the admittedly metaphorical organ of memory. Parrot, why didn't you sing him what he requested of you? You stinted to satisfy his soul. Now his body lies here all bloody and blue. You valued your principles above your friend's psychology. Tomorrow and tomorrow you shall dearly wish you sang him yesterday. You must change your bright feathers for weeds. You must learn to cry nevermore. By the bruised sky, the cold, cold wave, the heather on the moor. And the last one. This is the tale of castaways who don't know the value of pi. They memorized it to several decimal places, yet how it goes on they can't say. Is this a 7 or a 5, an 8 or 22? What happens in position and what happens after it, like when and yields to n+1 and then n+1 to n+2. The rain did rain and sideways blow. The pirate ship was tossed on billows towards stars that wouldn't glow. In some kind of vertical do-si-do, above them H2O, and lo, there was H2O below. And the parrot parlayed to the pirate, "Oh no, we're entirely lost. Put the futtock shrouds into the lubber's hole. Drop the main topmast jackstays. Yarly, yarly, fall toot." It was the pirate that exclaimed all that. "Slack the bowlines!" "What's the use?" said the parrot. "We're lost." "Set the top gallants onto the paxel, I mean the foxel." That was again the pirate. "Tush, phooey," said the parrot. You can't just abandon all hope, parrot, exclaimed the pirate. Haven't you heard of that experiment when they put 2 frogs in 2 glasses of milk and one gave up and drowned but the other kept swimming until the milk turned into yogurt? Also, Descartes says that if you're lost, you just need to pick a direction and stick to it. You'll end up somewhere. But what if you can't end up there in a finite number of steps? Because I don't do transcendental magnitudes, objected the parrot. I'm only a bird. Nonetheless, said the pirate who doesn't know the value of pi,